Hello everyone and welcome. Yes, my name is Arafire and welcome to yet another episode of Look Out and Shout. We've just done one recently, but I had to go through this figure with you. Actually a couple of figures that I picked up recently. But we'll start off with this one. Now, as you know, I am a big Beast Wars fan, and when this particular figure was released, I had to jump on it with both hands. So today we are going to look at Golden Disc Pterosaur, the War for Cybertron Kingdoms series, their Beast Wars line within. Now, this is a special elite line, I think you'd say, of 4, as with this lovely box art, as it suggests, you have the Golden Discs being made up of 3 other characters that form a nice picture of box art of 4, making the Golden Disc itself. But this is in particular Terrorsaur, which, whilst it follows the mould of the Hasbro line for War for Cybertron, this does feel a little bit different. In fact, it was kind of released separately. It is pretty much the same engineering, and here he is in robot mode in all of his glory. Now, the big problem with Pterosaur, as has been the problem for many a year, is that he is a pterodactyl and wings have to go somewhere, and this really does present a problem with the Pterosaur character turning it into a toy. Where do you put effectively plastic wings that can't really fold away? And considering Terrorsaur has been very underrepresented in the toy market, this is actually the second official toy actually released of Pterosaur to my knowledge. The official one back in 1996, the TF Con specific one, which was more of a take of a modernised version where Pterosaur was in fact a jet and there's an accompanying comic book for it, and now this. And that all being said, as the challenges that this will represent, I still think this is a really good looking figure. Now, what I will say right from the start, this is a deluxe. It's not particularly big, so you can't expect the world. I'm talking to myself as much as anybody else. But that face sculpt alone just looks magnificent. He's got that smirk, that golden eye, that twinge, that he's going to do something mischievous and devilish. And it still has a lot of character to it. Now, what I will just say for the back kibble, the wings, as you can see, the best thing you can do, they are on pegs, gently, and I do mean gently, pry them off. And they are, you're getting into parts forming territory, I know, but this is obviously Pterosaur's big problem, and it does make the back a little less gangly. Not much, but some, because of course, keeping homage to the show, of course, Pterosaur had no back kibble, it just all magically disappeared. But this has kept very faithful to the show. He has a very popping colour scheme. The silver as well really stands out and breaks up the red. The gun is very good, it's very accurate to the show. And the transformation, of course, this was really taken from the Air Razor mould, which is a very celebrated mould in the Kingdom line. So this is kind of onto a winner when the original base mould was so good. And here he is in beast mode, swooping in like a very attractive looking pterodactyl, if pterodactyls can look attractive. This has been the most screen accurate one to date. They can't argue with how it all presents itself. There is some lineage and tabbage, if you could see, on the wings and how it goes into the body, but again, Terrorsaur will always have that. But attention to detail is pretty good on this figure. The head sculpt, the design, the character looks very good and very captivating. There's a lot of, attention there and personality. Things from the teeth in the beak to the green eyes, the dots on the back as well as the chest for robot mode. It's very welcome, and it actually holds away and folds away a robot pretty well. There is the arms and the wrist on a bit of a double elbow that tuck inside, which I'm not sure by memory if Air Razor has that on her mould. Might just be new for this one. Nevertheless, it's welcome, and it is an age-old problem, isn't it? Anything that turns into a plane or a bird, is it a bird, is it a plane? How do you hide a robot underneath that doesn't just look like it's tucking up underneath? It's a hard thing to do, and I think, again, for a deluxe, they did it very well, all things considered. As good as I think this is, certainly worth this price point, I'm very happy with it. It is kind of making me think, well, now that they're looking at this figure for the Chug line, will they look at him for the Masterpiece line? Now, I'm sure they will. They have done the other Beast Wars characters, I'm sure it's only a matter of time. But this is presenting its own problems for transformation, particularly with wings, in the chug scale, what's it going to be like in MP scale? One other thing that Pterosaur comes with in this set is no less than a golden disc, which is starting to become a bit of a theme now. I'm sure we've got a few of these. I think Masterpiece Dinobot came with some, or it might have been Masterpiece Megatron. I'm not actually sure if the Kingdom Megatron came with one as well. Now we got one with Terrorsaur, as is really part of its Elite box set line, which again is fine. But is this going to be the new Matrix? So is everyone going to have about 3 or 4 of these lying around? It's going to lose its sheen after a while. Speaking of which, this is very dull in its way. It's almost bronze more than gold. But one thing of course you can say about the Predacons in Beast Wars is that they never really went solo too long, and Terrorsaur is now with his longtime flying comrade, Waspinator. And I got this for my birthday. Mrs. Arafai got this for me, and I'm very pleased with this. It's, again, a deluxe figure. It's not without its flaws, and I'll get into that in a second, but it actually is quite good fun, all things considered, particularly in beast mode. And when you have the two of them side by side, very much what you kind of want for Predacon flyers. These two, the double axe, kind of the Dumb and Dumber of the Predacons, to have them together is actually quite cool. I had the original toys, but these two scale together really nicely. Both deluxes, both great fun for what they are. Now I was a little put off with Waspy's Alt mode here because I never really felt like it was going for a cartoon aesthetic, and he wasn't in the Netflix series, so they didn't really have anything they were aiming at per se. It just looked like a green hornet. Really, it just comes across as a big green wasp, which yes, that's what Waspinator is, but it didn't strike me like Terrorsaur struck me, that they were going for toon accuracy in much way, shape or form. Now of course, one big stigma with this figure is its predecessor, the Thrilling 30s Waspinator, which is still touted as probably one of the best figures out there, and is very hard to come by, very expensive. And so when this was released, people instantly drew the comparisons saying, well, the original was better. Possibly they're right. I've not been successful enough to get it in hand. This will have to do for now. But certainly with comparisons to the original toy back in the 90s, I feel this is an improvement in many ways. I do like the purple wings, very translucent, very reflective in their way. And that is show accurate at least. But when you get the two of these side by side, flying along, there is quite a nice reminder to these, and how the engineering has improved. Maybe not drastically, they are still deluxes, but the big charm with this figure is when you get them into robot mode, you see that green really pop. It's a very dark emerald green, and it does add something to the character. And here is old Bug Boy in his robot mode, and I would say it's not a very fun transformation. It's very fiddly. It seems to want to fight you. There's particularly a bit around the waist that you have to clip and unclip, and there is hinges, but it comes undone very easily, and it's more of a pain than anything else. However, the end result does look good, particularly when you look at the face sculpt. He does have some cool light piping features as well, and the head sculpt does look good. It does bring a lot of character to the figure, but it doesn't mean to say that it's particularly a good figure. It does some things well. The presentation in robot mode is good, the presentation in beast mode is okay, the upgrade to the toy in the 90s is certainly there, but it's not perfect, and the transformation is not fun for my money. But then again, as I say, it is a deluxe. Still, I can't help it, I'm a Beast Wars fanboy at heart, and when you have these two side by side, it does reminisce of these two lovable idiots and how they would often get blown up in the series, particularly Waspinator of course. They are deluxe figures, they are certainly worth their price points, you're not paying half the world for them. I would just like them to have done Waspinator a little better, but Terrorsaur for me is a standout figure of the two, and has been one of the better figures in the War for Cybertron line. That said, we have been quite spoilt in that line in general. I just think if you're a Beast Wars fan in general, or even have slight inklings towards getting these figures, you can't really go wrong for what they are. So my quick verdict on Waspinator, he's 3 Rodimus star badges. He's not perfect, he has got probably more imperfections than perfections, but I do like his robot mode. I do like the green that's used and the purple translucent for the wings, but the transformation is not that fun, and I don't think you're going to be flipping him back and forward too much. Terrorsaur on the other hand, I'm giving him 3.5 Rodimus star badges. The transformation is fun, both modes do look good, it's the kibble that will naturally let him down, and the fact he's not really readily available. He's effectively made as an exclusive. I think I got him through Hasbro Pulse, I think it was, or was it In Demand? I can't remember now, but it's not going to be readily available on the shelves. It's now in a sub-line. So if you are a big Beast Wars fan and you want all of the original cast, you're really going to have to go hunting for him, and that could be quite expensive for a deluxe figure. But I'll put some more photos up of the two of them at the end. I do think it would be very interesting when we finally complete this set as a whole. In the Legacy line we're going to be getting Tarantulas and Inferno as well, so we will have a full set of Predacons to play with. That's going to look quite good. But anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you on the next one.